very special guest today who's making some news as of this morning. We've spoken to her compatriots at the Progressive Anti-Abortion Uprising, PAAU, which she's actually the founder of. She's going to tell us in a moment what she's doing, but first I want to dig into some of the things I've read about her and her background. Terrisa Bukovinac, welcome to America First.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
So you had a press conference earlier today. We'll talk about that in a moment because it's big news. But we've talked to Elise Ketch from your organization, the progressives who are pro-life. And I'm reading in preparation for this meeting, and I see this statistic, and I want you to unpack it for me. 1 in 4 Democrats oppose abortion. What does that mean? What kind of abortion? And I thought it was like, you're not allowed to be a Democrat if you don't love Planned Parenthood.
Well, it does seem like that.
Yeah.
But the reality is that the number has fluctuated between 1 in 3 and 1 in 4 for some years. But it's 1 in 4 consider themselves actually to be pro-life. And the majority of Democrats, I believe like 64%, according to even the most recent 2023 polling, reject abortion for elective reasons in the later trimesters. So it's not an unusual thing to be a pro-life Democrat. What is unusual is to see any pro-life Democrats in Democratic leadership or that kind of diversity reflected in the party platform.
Yeah. So we covered, I think it was earlier this week, that time flies by, this shocking case of pro-life activists from your organization who were arrested and have been found guilty under the FACE Act because they found out the truth about this horrific individual, Cesare Santangelo, who seems to be not performing abortions, but delivering babies and allowing them to die after they're delivered. How do people of the left like yourself end up being so candidly and courageously pro-life? Because for a conservative, it's like you go, hang on, what's the logic here? Can you talk us through your journey a little bit?
Sure, I'd love to.
Yeah.
I became pro-life as an atheist. I used to be a meat-eating, pro-choice Christian, but when I lost my faith, I started to think about life in a different way. What's right and wrong and why? And when I lost kind of the faith that there's a life after death and that there's a divine justice, that God's going to right all the wrongs in the end, I started to think about things like animal rights and abortion. And I just couldn't square these things away with what we believe about human dignity and equal human rights. It seems like if you have this incredible chance to have this unique experience in the universe, who has the right to take that from you and
so
why?
Hang on, this is fascinating. Your belief that God didn't exist made you more pro-life?
It made me pro-life.
Because you thought, well, at least the only thing we have is life.
Exactly.
Okay, all right. That's fascinating. I never even thought about it like that. I don't care where you come from politically. If you're fighting for the unborn, you have my support. Progressive Anti-Abortion Uprising founder, PAAUNOW. That's PAAUnow.org. We're talking to Terrisa Bukovinac. What have you declared today, Terrisa?
Well, today I've declared that I am running against Joe Biden in the 2024 Democratic primary as a pro-life Democrat.
Why? Are you crazy? I mean, he's the establishment. He's got everything. He's got the DNC.
Right.
He's got the big donors.
Yeah.
He was actually, I can't believe I'm saying this, he was at my neighbor's house last night. We had to go through Secret Service to go down our driveway because Joe Biden had taken over our part of Northern Virginia. You know how much the Democrats love education? They closed the local high school at lunchtime because Biden was coming at 6 o'clock. That's how much they care about education. So tell us why you're doing this.
Well, I'm doing this not to win an election, not to make it to the White House, but to disrupt the status quo within my own party.
I like that.
I'm here to create a space for pro-life Democrats like myself. I didn't even call myself pro-life until I saw other secular pro-life people saying that they were pro-life. So I know that if I'm going to challenge this abortion extremism within the Democratic Party, I'm going to need to draw out Democrats like myself, and that means they need to see representation. And additionally, I am trying to show the American people what abortion extremism does to unborn children. I have seen it up close and personal, and any federal candidate must be allowed to show their ads on any FCC TV station uncensored.
Oh, so you are going to be a troublemaker?
Absolutely.
Okay, superb. How can people support you?
Please visit my website, bfp2024.com. That stands for Bukovinac for President, 2024.com.
Last question. Okay, go right now. I want to see this woman on a stage with Robert Kennedy Jr. and then Biden's click would really have a bad day. bfp2024.com. Help me out here. Just last question. Why aren't Democrats allowed to be pro-baby, pro-life? Why?
It's because of
the cult. What is it?
It's not exactly a cult, but it is a toxic financial relationship between the abortion industrial complex and the Democratic Party. This is the problem of abortion in America. This is the relationship that most needs to be disrupted. And if no one else is stepping up to do it, I'm going to.
You know what? I had no idea where this was going to go. I'm impressed. I think we might have to get her on my Newsmax show. I love disruptors. You know why? Because I worked for one. His name's Donald Trump, the ultimate disruptor. BFP2024.com. I think he'd probably like you. I love these phrases. Use them. Abortion, extremism, and I like this one, the abortion industrial complex. I'm going to use that with your permission because it is 800,000 children a year. That's a genocide. And guess what? Disproportionately black babies. Margaret Sanger. She's very happy. She's in hell, but she's happy. All right. God bless this lady. BFP2024.com. I'm Sebastian Gorka. This is America First, coming to you live from the ReliefFactor.com studio.